Good morning, my Tubies, my TikTokers, and my Twitters. Today is October 6th, first day. It's going to be a magnificent day. It's going to be a great, great day. And now for our Bible, our empower thoughts for the day, which is coming from, let's see, where are we? Matthew's chapter 22. Okay, we're reading from the Easy Read version, and we're going to start off with a story about people invited to a dinner. Jesus used some more stories. He used these stories to teach people. He said, God's kingdom is like a king who prepared a wedding feast for his son. He invited some people to the feast. When it was ready, the king the king sent his servants to tell the people to come, but they refused to come to the king's feast. I think we're up to 22. Hold on a brief moment, Tubies. Yes, we're right where we should be. Chapter 21. Then the king sent some more servants. He said to them, I have already invited the people, so tell them that my feast is ready. I have killed my best bulls and calves to be eaten. Everything is ready. Come to the wedding feast. But when the servants told the people to come, they refused to listen. They all went to do other things. One went to work in his field, and another went to his business. Some of the other people grabbed the servants, beat them, and killed them. The king was very angry. He sent his army to kill those who murdered his servants, and the army burnt their city. After that, the king said to his servants, The wedding feast is ready. I invited those people, but they were not good enough to come to my feast. So go to the street corners and invite everyone you see. Tell them to come to my feast. So the servants went into the streets. They gathered all the people they could find, good and bad alike, and brought them to where the wedding feast was ready. And the place was filled with guests. When the king came in to meet the guests, he saw a man there who was not dressed in the right clothes for a wedding. The king said, Friend, how were you allowed to come in here? You are not wearing the right clothes. But the man said nothing. So the king told some servants, Tie this man's hands and feet, throw him out into the darkness where people are crying and grinding their teeth with pain. Yes, many people are invited, but only a few are chosen. That's right. A lot of people are invited to come and serve and follow Christ, but very few people stay. Anyway, we're moving on to verse 15, where it talks about the Jewish leaders. They tried to trick Jesus. Pharisees, no doubt. Here, yep. Then the Pharisees left the place where Jesus was teaching. They made plans to catch him saying something wrong. They sent some men to Jesus. They were some of their own followers and some from the group called Herodians. They said, Teacher, we know you are an honest man. We know you teach the truth about God's way. You are not afraid of what other people think about you. All people are the same to you. So tell us what you think. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? But Jesus knew that these men were trying to trick him. So check out how wise Jesus is. So he said, You hypocrites. You see? You see how Jesus called them out of their name? Yes, he called them and he spoke the truth. He called them what they were, hypocrites. You hypocrites. Why are you trying to catch me saying something wrong? Show me a coin used for paying the tax. They showed Jesus a silver coin. Then he asked, Whose picture is on the coin? And whose name is written on the coin? They answered, It is Caesar's picture and Caesar's name. Then Jesus said to them, Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. He got them, baby. When they heard what Jesus said, they were amazed. They left him and went away. I'm sure they felt unfulfilled that they couldn't trick him and trap him. Jesus was always 100 steps ahead of these fools. But anyway, some Sadducees tried to trick Jesus. Now it's the Sadducees. These are supposed to be men who are very lettered and well educated when it comes to the scriptures. That's who Sadducees are. That same day, some Sadducees, sad I call them, Sadducees came to Jesus. Sadducees believe that no one will rise from death, so they don't believe in the resurrection. The Sadducees asked Jesus a question. They said, "Teacher, Moses told us that if a married man dies and had no children, his brother must marry the woman. Then they will have children for the dead brother. There were 7 brothers among us. The first brother married but died. He had no children, so his brother married the woman. Then the second brother also died. The same thing happened to the third brother and all the other brothers. The woman was the last to die. But all 7 men had married her, so when people rise from death, whose wife will she be?" Check out how Jesus handled these fools. Jesus answered, "You are so wrong. You don't know what the scriptures say, and you don't know anything about God's power. At the same time, when people rise from death, there will be no marriage. People will not be married to each other. Everyone will be like angels in the heavens. Surely you have read what God said to you about people rising from death. God said, 'I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob.' So they were not still dead, because he is the God only of the living." When the people heard this, again, they were amazed at Jesus' teaching. He was the greatest teacher that ever lived. Woo! I'm getting goosebumps. Anyway, we're going to move on to verse 34. Which command is the most important? The Pharisees learned that Jesus had made the Sadducees look like fools. Jesus made them look so foolish that they stopped trying to argue with him. So the Pharisees had a meeting. Keep in mind, the Pharisees are nothing but the modern-day Jehovah's Witnesses of today. Then one of them, an expert in the law of Moses, I know my daughter, she's always talking about Moses and Aaron. Moses and Aaron. Yeah, okay, whatever, y'all. Anyway, then one of them, an expert in the law of Moses, asked Jesus a question to test him. He said, "Teacher, which command in the law is the most important?" Jesus answered, see, these are the most important commands and the most important laws that we ought to follow. Jesus said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all of your strength." This is the first and most important command. And the second greatest command is like the first. Love your neighbor the same as you love yourself. All of the laws and things that are written of the prophets take their meaning from just these 2 commands. Moving on to verse 41. Is the Messiah David's son or David's Lord? So while the Pharisees were together, Jesus asked them a question. He said, "What do you think about the Messiah? Whose son is he?" The Pharisees answered, "The Messiah is the son of David." Jesus said to them, "Then why did David call him Lord? David was speaking by the power of the Spirit. He said, 'The Lord God said to my Lord, sit by me at my right side, and I will put your enemies under your control.'" You can find that also at Psalms chapter 110, verse 1. David calls the Messiah Lord. So how can he be David's son? None of the Pharisees could answer Jesus' question. And after that day, no one was brave enough to ask him any more questions. He shut them down. Isn't he awesome? Yes, he is, my loves. Anyway, we're going to move on to your power thought for the day. And that is, hold on, let me get a swig of my coffee out of my kitty cup, my Hello Kitty. Now, no matter what comes up in life, I want you to know that you can handle it. Being more than a conqueror means having such confidence that no matter what comes up in your life, you know that through Jesus Christ, you can handle it. You know before you're ever faced with a problem that you're going to have victory over it. So you don't dread things in life. You don't fear the unknown. You don't live in anxiety about what's going to happen in certain situations. It doesn't really matter what the specifics of the situations are. You know that you can handle it through Jesus Christ. For you and for me, this is where I feel that being defeated, that's never an option. That should never be an option for you either. Begin to think every day, I can handle whatever life hands me or whatever life throws at me. I can do whatever I need to do in life. I am more than a conqueror. Even before you get out of bed in the mornings, let these thoughts roll over and over in your mind, and you'll be surprised how your confidence is going to skyrocket, and you'll find that you can do whatever you need to do in life. Having the right attitude and having the right thoughts is the first step toward having a better life. Trust that through Jesus Christ, trust me when I tell you, my darlings, you can do anything. How about that? Now that's something positive for you to think about today. And now, finally, we're going to have your Bible trivia questions for today, my loves. Let's see here. Who was the beloved disciple? I'm not going to tell you where it's from. 1, 2, 3. The beloved was John. John was Jesus' favorite disciple. And the reason for that is because John is known to be the apostle of great love. And that's why he was Jesus' favorite. Okay, what did David want to build for the Lord? You can find that answer at 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 1 and 2. What did he want to build for the Lord? 1, 2, 3. He wanted to build a dwelling place, which is the temple. So there you have it, my darlings. There you have it. Remember to put your trust in Jesus Christ. Always pray to Jesus, Father, which is your Father and mine, Jehovah God, of course. Always that. We never try to negate or take anything away from Jehovah. But at the same, however, better yet, we want to do what Jehovah wants us to do, and that's to follow his son. And because we love Jehovah so much, we're going to follow his son. We're going to work like a dog to imitate his son. And in order to imitate someone, you have to study them. You have to put them as the main focus. I love you so much. And like I said, my loves, today is going to be what? Another great, great, great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow if God is willing and Jesus is willing. Bye-bye now. I love you.